What is going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome again for another video. So, as you can see here, the game that I'm playing, well, I'm not playing it, but I chose the New York Knicks because I'm hoping, maybe, just maybe, Iman Shumpert in this team, and I'll tell you why. You probably has seen him in the thumbnails as well, but I believe Iman Shumpert was interviewed maybe 3 weeks ago, and he expressed his desire to play for the Bulls. Now, Iman Shumpert is 32 years old, so not extremely old. The last time he played, I believe, was for the Cavaliers, or maybe I think it's Brooklyn. I'm sorry, it's Brooklyn, and he won the Dancing with the Stars. But it's not just about Shumpert, but for the most part, it's the hardship that the Bulls can use because of having Caruso and Lonzo Ball out. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen our struggles on the defensive end on the backcourt because of those two being out. Lonzo and Caruso is so good in the help defense, and not only that, containing their man one on one, that it masked the defensive deficiencies of Vooch because they can stay in front of their guy. Therefore, Vooch does not have to come up and hedge the defense and maybe meet them at the rim, leaving the backside open for a potential offensive rebound. That's why we got away with all those wins in the beginning of the season, because of the defensive brilliance of those two individuals. Now they're not here for 6 to 8 weeks. So, and that's a long time. That is a long time. That is 6 is on the shorter end, and 8 possibly longer, if things doesn't go right. Now, in the meantime, can we afford to be who we are and stand pat? Maybe. But if I was the Bulls front office, I would use that hardship to sign a few players. Now, when we talk about hardship, normally that's a 10-day contract. So we're not expecting big names here. But most likely you're going to pick up on the bargain bin, and maybe, hopefully, you'll pick up somebody there that would fit your style and maybe get you, through the storm and win you a few games, not because of those players that you got, but, they're complementary pieces that might help you, save a possession or two. Kind of like what Stanley Johnson is doing to the Lakers right now, and they signed Stanley Johnson to the remaining of the season. Sort of what we did with Solomon Hill, I believe Tyler Cook as well. So you never know, right? Now, the thing you need is most likely a power forward in another guard that is a defensive minded. Now, there's a lot of holes in this Bulls team, like I mentioned before. A veteran point guard. I always believe in that. I love Ayo, but a guy that would command respect in the locker room, that would, kind of calm things down, slow down the game, and maybe set up the guy that's hot. Unlike right now, they give it to DeMar, and DeMar at the, towards the end of the game, he just wants to score. And he could, but he wants to be the person who would put out the fire when the other team is on a run, and sometimes it shouldn't be him. Maybe sometimes should be Vooch or Levine. So a guard that is a veteran that could, hold the ball and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna dump it down to the big guy right here. So he would eat. We need a bucket right now, and there's a mismatch. So this is what I'm gonna do. With that being said, I personally would look for big guys as buyouts. I think there's a multitude out there that we could get for cheap. Now, as far as the backcourt for now, and I'm not even talking about long term. I'm talking about within 6 to 8 weeks. So we could look internally at with Matt McClung. They're saying that he's an Alex Caruso kind of like clone, so to speak, athletic, with high motor. Decent defensively, but Matt McClung has a little bit more upside, I would say, in scoring. Not a whole lot, because if he's cold, boy, he is cold. So we could use him. He's on our affiliate G League anyway. We can recall him, do a couple of 10-day contracts and all that stuff, or we could go the veteran route, right? At this point, we already tried a 10-day period for these, potential guys like Solomon Hill. They're pretty young. Tyler Cook, and yes, they do help in short spurts. But I would say try the veteran route. The Iman Shumperts. Just maybe, this is the guy that we need. Somebody would has a dog mentality in him, pretty good defensively, does not need to take any shots because God knows we can score. Like we scored 124 points against the Spurs. The problem is we could not defend and we gave away 130 something points. With Shumpert in the backcourt, I'm not saying he is the savior, but you can't tell me he's going to be any worse than Kobe White at this point. And I'm not knocking on Kobe White. He's doing a whole lot better. But Shumpert has the size. He's been a veteran in this league, and he's pretty known for his gritty defense. And another guy that comes to mind with, he's not as good defensively, at least not known as good defensively, is Darren Collison. He played for the Lakers this year for a little bit, signed a 10-day contract. Didn't play particularly well, but maybe because he's been out of the league for 2 years, he needs to get his legs under him. He doesn't have the size that Shumpert does have, but what he could bring is veteran presence and some scoring punch off the bench. When things are going rough, you can give it to him. He's a calming presence down there. He could be like our George Hill type of guy, and slow the things down, put it down low to Vooch, and maybe kick it back out to him for a 3-pointer. You never know. But those are the 3 guys that at least comes to my mind initially when, again, this is a hardship exception. We can't get stars for these guys. Hardship is mostly like a 10-day contract. You can sign young guys, and that is okay. But at this point, I tried out these veterans up until both Ball and Caruso comes back. So let me know your thoughts on the comments down below if you guys have any idea, that I might have missed as potential candidates, because I know we do have 2, so we could use that. I mean, we're not paying for this. I know how cheap the Bulls management are, but for crying out loud, use it. We need help. If we're getting beat by teams like Orlando in close games like Toronto, with them being decimated as well, and even the Thunder and losing to San Antonio, we have a good lineup, but boy, we need help. So let me know in the comments how you feel about this. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so and a Bulls fan, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.